Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? Please have your tickets in hand before you board the plane. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Johan Castell and you're watching Wings. On the show today, we tell you the story of how sacred Lord Buddha relics have returned to India after over a century. We cover how the annual Magh Mela has kicked off in Prayagraj and feature the largest ice and snow festival in the world in Harbin, China. Then we go to Italy, where the Olympic flame travels across the country ahead of the Olympics. Let's start. More than a century after they were removed during the colonial era, the sacred artifacts linked to Lord Buddha are back in public view in India, bringing together history, archaeology, and faith.
In New Delhi, a rare exhibition is bringing the Piprava relic gems back into the public eye, marking their first collective display in India since their excavation in 1898. More than 300 precious stones and ornaments, believed to have been buried alongside relics of Lord Buddha, are now on view, offering a rare glimpse into the earliest material traces of Buddhism. The gems were discovered at a stupa in Piprava in northern India, an archaeological site widely linked to ancient Kapilavastu, where the Buddha is believed to have spent his early life. India's Ministry of Culture says the exhibition represents the reunification of the Piprava gems after 127 years. Excavated during British rule, the relics were dispersed across the globe. The exhibition was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who described it as a significant moment in India's cultural history, allowing people to once again view relics closely associated with Lord Buddha. Buddha's teachings, rooted in renunciation and non-attachment, went on to shape a spiritual tradition followed today by more than 500 million people worldwide. Born in what is now Nepal, he spent much of his life in northern India, where Buddhism first took root. The Piprava relics were first uncovered in 1898 when British engineer William Claxton Pepe excavated the site. Caskets found during the dig bore inscriptions identifying the contents as relics of the Buddha. While many were handed over to colonial authorities and some were housed in the Indian Museum in Kolkata, a collection of jewels remained with Pepe's family. The gems stayed out of public view for decades. In May 2025, plans to auction them in Hong Kong drew attention before India's Ministry of Culture intervened, declaring the relics inalienable religious and cultural heritage. Inside the exhibition, the Piprava gems are displayed alongside related relics preserved at the Indian Museum in Kolkata and the National Museum in New Delhi. Other sections trace the Piprava excavation, key moments from the Buddha's life, and the spread of Buddhist art and ideas beyond India. The display is organized thematically, with a central model inspired by the Sachi Stupa and multimedia installations that trace the relics' discovery, movement, and wider Buddhist context. Indian authorities say the exhibition is part of broader efforts to preserve Buddhist heritage. Among the earliest archaeological materials linked to the Buddha, the Piprava relics now come together after more than a century, allowing audiences to engage with a key chapter in early Buddhist history.
After hosting the Grand Kumbh Mela early last year, Prayagraj is now home to another deeply spiritual chapter, the Magh Mela. Millions of devotees, saints, and pilgrims gather at the Sangam to seek blessings, take ritual dips, and celebrate India's enduring spiritual heritage. This is Prayagraj, a city located in eastern Uttar Pradesh. This is a spiritual center in northern India, home to the world's largest spiritual gathering, the Kumbh Mela, which occurs every 12 years on the riverbanks of the Sangam, where the holy rivers Ganga, Yamuna and the mythical Saraswati meet. The Kumbh Mela occurred from January to February in 2025, but this year there's also a smaller yet highly spiritually significant gathering that draws millions of devotees to this sacred spot. It is now time for the Magh Mela, an annual month-long Hindu festival.
The month of Magh is highly significant. Visiting here absolves everyone of their sins. All the saints come here to pray. After they come here, they perform Kalpvas, which is spending an entire month by the riverbanks. Donations, take vows, recite sacred texts, and from gods to humans, everyone lives here for a month.
The Sangam is already crowded, even though the most important bathing days are from January 15 to February 15. Countless devotees, saints and pilgrims have gathered to take ritual dips and also perform spiritual practices.
I have come here specially for the holy dip, Magh Purnima, sacred full moon. You see the crowd here, police security arrangements are really good.
Paush Purnima on January 3rd marked the opening of this year's fair on the day of a full moon. According to authorities, over 3.1 million devotees had taken the sacred bath at the Sangam on the opening day. This is a smaller turnout than during the Kumbh Mela.
The ritual bath was completed safely. Around 3.1 million devotees took a holy dip. Everything went smoothly at the Mela. All arrangements are normal, and everyone appreciated the arrangements made there.
So what important dates do we have to look forward to at Magh Mela in 2026? Well, the auspicious bathing and festival dates start with Makar Sankranti on January 15, then Mauni Amavasya on the 18th, Vasant Panchami on the 23rd, Maghi Purnima on February 1st, and finishing with Mahashivratri on February 15th. If you visit Magh Mela this year, you will get to experience India's living spiritual heritage. In sub-zero temperatures, a city of ice comes to life. From fireworks and frozen sculptures to ice swimming, trains and even cool weddings, Harbin is once again proving why it is China's undisputed winter capital.
In northeast China's Harbin, the world's most spectacular ice festival has officially opened, with fireworks, light shows, and giant ice castles shining through the polar cold. As temperatures dropped to nearly -20 degrees Celsius, visitors flooded Harbin's ice and snow world to witness the opening night. Built using 400,000 cubic meters of ice and snow, this year's festival is the biggest one yet, changing the city into a winter fairy tale scene of towers, slides, and frozen art. Now in its 27th edition, the festival's theme is a fairy tale world this year. At the festival grounds, Harbin's renowned structures are reconstructed in ice. From a gate inspired by the city's old railway station to a dream stage shaped like the Yangmingtan Bridge, the scale is unmatched. Spread across 1.2 million square meters, the ice world has become a major driver of domestic tourism, with Harbin attracting over 90 million visitors last year alone. Snow sculptors from around the world are turning large packed snow cubes into works of art at the annual Snow Sculpture Competition, which is a part of the wider Ice and Snow Festival. 25 international teams are carving sophisticated shapes, from abstract geometric forms to famous monuments such as India's Taj Mahal and even giant octopus figures, blending culture, creativity, and extreme cold.
We are 4 team members, and this is my first time, and we are making here Taj Mahal, which is built by Shah Jahan in memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal, and which is situated in Agra in India. And we feel very proud to come here in the Harbin city, and lovely people here, and I like this place.
But for some, watching the ice is not enough. In the frozen Songhua River, winter swimmers took the plunge into sub-zero waters as part of the festival's traditions. With temperatures around -15 degrees, members of Heilongjiang's winter swimming community say the freezing dip is a source of health, joy, and discipline. Winter tourism in Harbin is also moving on rails. This season, China launched its first Northeast folk culture-themed train, connecting Harbin to Mohe. Inside, passengers step into a mobile museum of Northeast traditions, from floral Dongbei Dahua designs to paper cutting, dumpling making, and local performances, turning a simple journey into an immersive cultural experience. And in one of the most extraordinary noted events of the festival, love took center stage. At 15 degrees below zero, 42 couples said "I do" in a mass wedding surrounded by towering ice castles. Selected from over 14,000 applicants, the couples exchanged vows and rings together, saying the ice and snow symbolize the purity and strength of their love.
Even before getting married, I had always wanted to visit Harbin. I love the food here. There's so much delicious stuff. The people here are also very friendly. I like the straightforward mannerisms of the people from Northeast China. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity to come to Harbin.
We applied online and took part in voting through various channels. Finally, we managed to arrive in Harbin and were thrilled. Once we got here, the hotel was quite nice. It was very heartwarming. They provided heating pads and decorations for the room, which were very thoughtful. We were thrilled and deeply grateful.
From record-breaking ice sculptures to extreme sports, cultural trains, and frozen weddings, Harbin has once again transformed winter into a celebration, a city where cold becomes a symbol of culture and tourism.
As the world counts down to the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics, a powerful symbol of history and sport is underway. The Olympic flame is crisscrossing Italy from historic ruins and coastal towns to mountain fortresses and modern cities, carrying the spirit of the Games one region at a time.
After being lit in ancient Olympia, the birthplace of the Olympic Games, the flame set out on an impressive 2-month relay, covering nearly 12,000 kilometers. Passing through all 110 Italian provinces and more than 300 municipalities, turning city squares, coastlines and mountain peaks into stages for celebration. The relay soon headed south, reaching Sicily, where the flame concluded a day of celebrations in Catania, attracting spectators as it carried the spirit of the 2026 Winter Games across the island. From Sicily, the torch continued through southern Italy, blending sport with ancient history. In Paestum, it cast light on towering Greek temples, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, before travelling along the Amalfi coast, where it paused at Amalfi's medieval cathedral overlooking the Tyrrhenian Sea. One of the relay's most iconic moments followed in Pompeii. Global film star Jackie Chan carried the Olympic torch throughout the ruins of the ancient Roman city as the flame passed volcanic stone streets frozen in time, a striking meeting of antiquity and modern sport. The journey advanced to Naples, where the torch arrived under rainy skies for its final stop before Christmas, greeted by cheering crowds despite the weather. After Christmas, the Olympic flame arrived at the Royal Palace of Caserta, a towering representation of Italy's royal legacy. The Milano Cortina 2026 Olympic Torch Relay made a striking stop at the UNESCO World Heritage Site, where the flame set off on a day-long trip across Campania and Lazio. A dramatic horseback ride in front of the palace created a powerful scene of history meeting sport, before the relay continued its travel toward the Winter Games. On December 28th, the torch arrived in Potenza after passing through the Basilicata region. The following day, the relay turned adventurous. In Matera, famous for its ancient cave dwellings, the flame began a dramatic leg, scaling rock faces, traveling by zip line, and even riding a summer sledge track, before continuing through Altamura, Gioia del Colle, Massafra, and Crispiano, and ending the day in Taranto, the city between two seas. The relay then headed along Italy's southeastern coast, moving through Puglia, visiting Brindisi, Ostuni, Monopoli, and Polignano a Mare on the final day of the year. Along the way, the Olympic flame arrived at the iconic Castel del Monte in Puglia. As part of the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics torch relay in early January 2026, the stop spotlighted the fortress's distinctive octagonal design and its UNESCO World Heritage status, a powerful symbol of history, geometry, and national pride as the flame continued its journey across Italy. As January progressed, the flame traveled north along Italy's eastern Adriatic coast. From Montesilvano, it passed through Silvi, Roseto degli Abruzzi, and Giulianova, before turning inland toward Teramo and finishing the day in L'Aquila. Challenging weather followed, but it did little to slow the relay. Torchbearers braved rain and mountain trails as the flame climbed to the hilltop fortress, Calascio, a 10th century mountaintop fortress in the Gran Sasso e Monti della Laga National Park. The torch then explored the Marche region, continuing its steady push northward until it arrived in Bologna. The flame has already traveled through mountains on skis, crossed coastlines and passed through centuries-old fortresses, reflecting Italy's strong bond between sport, culture and history. The relay now enters its final phase. On January 26th, the flame will arrive in Cortina d'Ampezzo, exactly 70 years after the opening of the 1956 Winter Olympics at the same venue. And finally, on February 6th, the Olympic flame will reach Milan's San Siro Stadium, lighting the cauldron at the opening ceremony of the 2026 Winter Olympics, bringing a spectacular journey across Italy to its historic conclusion.
In Toronto, the holiday season has taken an unusual turn. Instead of perfectly wrapped presents, a new exhibition celebrates the gifts nobody wanted. Welcome to the Museum of Bad Gifts, where unwanted presents find new life and a new purpose.
At first glance, it looks like any other art gallery, but look closer and you'll find objects many people would never want as a gift. In Toronto, the Museum of Bad Gifts has opened its doors for a second year, turning unwanted and awkward holiday presents into a shared experience of humor, honesty, and creativity. The idea is simple. People donate gifts they never asked for, never liked, or never knew what to do with. Some are displayed as they are, others have been transformed by artists into original works. Each piece carries a story about missed intentions, misunderstandings, and the complex emotions that come with gift giving.
We accept all bad gifts. We believe all bad gifts should be celebrated equally, and a bad gift is completely subjective. So what you see behind me right now, these are a number of bad gifts that people have contributed to the gallery because they are gifts that they've received, and for one reason or another, they consider them to be bad gifts.
From questionable paintings to strange decor items, every object here has one thing in common. Someone thought it was a bad gift. But the exhibition challenges visitors to ask a bigger question. What actually makes a gift bad? The answer, it turns out, is often context. A gift that looks perfect to one person can feel completely wrong to another, and each object comes with a story that explains why.
Some of them you might look at and think, oh, that is definitely a bad gift. Others you might look at and say, that's actually quite nice. And then they all have stories with them, and you read the context and you realize, oh no, in that context is actually a terrible gift.
For some artists, the museum offered a chance to turn disappointment into creation. Unused objects became raw material for something new.
My bad gift was candles. I seem to get candles for some reason, but I have never expressed an interest in candles. So what I did is I took the wax and I tried to make some sculptures from it. Those were unsuccessful, so I made like a little drawing with the wax, and it's a little dog and ball.
Visitors, too, find themselves reconsidering their own experiences, both as givers and receivers. Beyond laughter and nostalgia, the exhibition also serves a practical purpose. Selected artworks are available for purchase, with all proceeds donated to a local food bank, turning unwanted gifts into meaningful support for the community. Open until the first week of January, the Museum of Bad Gifts offers a refreshing take on the holiday season, one that celebrates imperfection, storytelling, and shared human experience.
That's all we have for you on the show this week, but we return next week with more travel content for you. Until then, it's me, Johan Castell, signing off. Goodbye.